Looks like I'm live. How are you, everybody? I want to make sure that I've got the right camera up, so give me just a moment to decombobulate and then recombobulate. So video capture device properties, got the FaceTime. Let's go to that camera. Boom, right there. A little bit better, cleaner. I'm still learning, my friends. So let's do that one and make sure that I am on camera the right way. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm still learning. I'm just telling you, still learning, my friends. And aren't we all? Aren't we all still learning about life, about love? What do you do when you don't get what you want? What do you do when you get what you don't want? What do you do? You know, it's that whole idea of like when you feel pain, not necessarily physical pain, but when you feel and receive pain and heartache and sadness and loss, like have a moment of angst. Those are the times that you listen and start to wake up and understand that that's where the growth opportunities are. As a friend of mine has said, and since it's in the first minute of the live stream, I won't say the swear word. He says AFGO, another effing growth opportunity. Yes. So when you hear somebody, oh, so and so is got laid off this week, or so and so, you know, his wife left him, or he broke up with her or something, it'd be like, okay, you know, okay, I hope the person does well, but this is when you learn. And I know I'm starting out on Pluto, which has been my favorite planet this week because many comments have been from Pluto. The idea, when my mom passed away in 2016, I was overwhelmed. I was there, right? So I was right there. I could not believe this sense of openness and a new understanding of my current reality as I understood it in that moment. And I was sad that my mom had passed away, but it was one of the most beautiful moments in my life. And the way I put it is, you live in this sphere of your experience, and constantly people who go around like automatons, constantly reacting to external stimuli. Too cold, too hot, I hate that music. Oh, I love that. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I want that. I push, pull, love, hate, never here. And then when somebody dies that you love, suddenly the sphere, the bubble pops and you just expand. It hurts in a way, but it's like you start to float and you're like, holy mackerel. Oh, wow. And hopefully you don't get filled with regret, like, oh, I didn't visit my mother enough in her final years. True, but if we had all that stuff worked out. So here we are. Can you hear me? I suppose I should ask. We're minutes into the live stream, and I haven't asked, can you hear me? Kelly, I think the first time Kelly was I think I used to call Kelly hip shaking mama or something, but she's hip flipping mama. Don't get it wrong. Kelly is tough. Don't mess with Kelly. Mudcap Molly may or may not jump in. I don't know if we have Detective Wobuffett with us today. Those are two other people who enjoy the opportunity to take time to moderate, because we don't want any scuffles in the front room to get, you know, into the front of the line. But we all seem to get along here. Cape Cod Steve, just saw Cape Cod Steve pop up. And D, welcome to Everest Base Camp. What's Everest Base Camp like? Anybody? Should I do a tour of Everest Base Camp someday? I can't do it now. I can tell you about it. Christian, good to see you. Um, I tried to climb a Himalayan mountain and I asked the local guide, "What does a Sherpa do?" He answered, "Let me summit up." Let me sum it up for you. Actually, very good. Never heard it. I thought I heard them all. Nice. Peggy, good to see you again. Thank you. I'm going to skip the questions right now just for a minute. Kata, always good to see you. Kata, like a kata scarf, maybe, right? Kestrel, boom, Wales. Who doesn't love Wales? The country. Christian, good to see you. And what pieces of cooked meat have been found on Mount Everest? The steaks. Come on! The stakes have never been higher. Don't do that. Oh! I love you guys. Ursula, awesome to see you. Peggy, I already said hello, but hello again. Nana of 13. Stop that right now. 13. Oh, God bless you. Utah Explorer from Boulder. Awesome. Allie, Reno, good to see you. Oops, hello, how are you? Exactly, doing awesome. Good evening from Spain. Cool. Florida is Nana. Kestrel, I forget where you're from. Eric Richards, good to see you. Thank you to the people with that round circle next to their name, the yin and the yang with multiple different colors. Thank you to my members, Alex from the Sydney, Australia region. Alex has traveled the farthest to be at this event, possibly. And it's tomorrow morning for you. Alex, 7 o'clock probably, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday for him. So he will be drinking tea or coffee. Brendan, New Jersey, awesome. Kata, all right, Kata. I know I'm missing a couple. Daniel from the UK, cool. Karen from the Cork, the rebel country. Love that. Kelly, don't you love a good scuffle? Don't encourage these people. Hey, listen, don't mess with people from Cape Cod either, because Steve from Cape Cod is here. I'm telling you, especially those people out on the, like the Truro, you know, East Ham, those people are tough, man. Not really. I'm just messing with you, because they're not, well, they might be, but I don't know that. Brazil, that's a good one. That's really good. Good to see you. Karen, you guys are hugging. That's better than fighting. Good to see you. Mojo 5, Ireland, Eric, Carl, good to see you. New Zealand, this is insane. Drinking coffee now. I remember last time I asked you what I was drinking. Does anybody want to guess right now? And then we'll get to the topic. It's not carbonated. I just thought I'd give you a hint. Not carbonated. I'm just going to give you the answer. It's tea, but I do have beer in the refrigerator. And it's going to be good. I'm excited. Liverpool, UK. That is so freaking cool. I would love to go to Liverpool. And Steve, yes, we just got 6 inches of snow yesterday, and it's supposed to start tomorrow night for us. And I getting the snowblower out every day, like cranking. Wow. Eric, Navy SEALs are the largest demographic on Cape Cod, maybe, right? By the way, so somebody, oops, just asked about Simba. So I was getting ready, and my moderator, Kelly, was like, call me, call me. I'm demanding I call her. I was getting a little nervous if I didn't. Anyway, Simba starts scratching at me. I was over there in the kitchen, scratching. I'm filming Simba, like going nuts, scratching me. And I thought, I was like, I'll give him whipped cream, a little thing of whipped milk, like whipping cream milk, like he just a little, or catnip, or treats, or food. And I'm like, what the hell does he want? I just fed him. And I walk over behind me, there's this chair and he hides under. And when he saw me walking, he flew over and he likes it when I take this and throw it, and he runs across. And so I had to play with him for 10 minutes, and that's why I was almost late to the party. Okay, so guys, first, I think I've thanked all the members and the patrons who are here. I truly appreciate you. It means very, very much to me that you would take time and expense to say that you want me to keep creating content. And I was going to go for one video a week for a long time, and I was kind of cranking them out this past summer into the fall, and I realized I couldn't sustain it and have the element of quality. Not that I'm doing an Oscar. I want to enter this into the Oscars for a nomination, but I don't want it to be crap, just cranking crap out and going after all the conspiracies. And even though I'll do conspiracies, and we will talk about stuff like that today, because I got a new thing that I didn't know I was going to talk about until today, which is freaking amazing, about a new series of videos coming out by, are you ready? By John Krakauer, refuting lies, slander, and defamation about his writing. Holy shit, freaking good. I'm going to tell you about that. And as many of you know, I am a defender of John Krakauer. Not that he can do no wrong. He's a human being. Just like anybody, he makes mistakes. He might do this wrong or that wrong. But I look at his book, Into Thin Air. When people say it's a bunch of lies, I'm like, dude, stop talking right freaking now. How do you know unless you were in his boots? And he was one of his harshest critics. His own harshest critics was a client, and yes, he was making money on the trip. He was a writer. What the hell do you want? And he was actually ambivalent about going to Everest in the first place. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit about that, and then I'll tell you where you can find those videos. I don't want you to go there right now because I want you to stay here and watch my videos. And so we were actually talking a lot about the Nwang Sherpa story, right? Who is and I'll get to questions. And now Hip Flippin' Mama asked me to pin the top comment. If you are like trying to get my attention, please answer this question. Hit the super chat. Super chat isn't expensive at all. I'm not trying to grift. Well, I do this for a living, but I don't mind doing stuff for free. I took my whole day off Wednesday to go, help somebody build their YouTube presence, and that was kind of cool. So, Nwang Sherpa, a really, really look at his face. Looks just like a sweet man. And when he was hired by the company that hired him, if you want to read this article by Angela Benavides of Explorers Web, you can read it. I'm not here to pick on the expedition company that hired him. However, the thing about Nwang is they told his client, the expedition company, Joshua Kiryui, he wanted to be the first person from Africa, he was a Kenyan, to climb Everest without the use of bottled oxygen. And they said, you'll have a Sherpa with you the whole time with a spare bottle of oxygen in his backpack just in case it hits the fan. And he's been to the summit 5 times. That ain't bad. If you're going to try without oxygen, you want that, right? You want the most experienced Sherpa that you could possibly get, or guide. I'm just saying Nwang happened to be a Sherpa working for a Sherpa-owned company. Okay, so keep that in mind. I can say that there are some Western guiding companies that I know very well, people that I know, their character, I've been friends with for many years. If they told a client that their Sherpa had summited 5 times and something happened, they'd probably get sued. Or they should get sued for, I don't know, what's $1 million, right? not that they'd be able to come up with the money, but so the idea of Kirui getting set up with the Sherpa who had zero Everest experience, none. They go to the summit, he runs into trouble. I don't even know if he got to his bottled oxygen yet. They sit down somewhere below the summit. Kirui, the Kenyan gentleman, sits down, becomes completely unreachable. Nwang as well sits down, refuses to leave his side. And then a British climber named John Mills had come down from the summit carrying 3 bottles of oxygen. Whoa, that's a lot of bottled oxygen. So he must have been on a super high rate, which is fine, whatever, who cares? I mean, I do in a little bit, but 3 bottles of oxygen, which I just can't even almost understand that. He was very cogent. He sat down, saw that Kirui was not going to make it. He was like catatonic, which saw Nwang, wake up, wake up. And Nwang was just, you know, like this. Nothing he could do. Makes calls down on the radio to the camp below. They saved his own life. So John Mills and his high altitude porter, Sherpa, whatever you want to call it, they leave. Next crew comes up the next day. Kirui is passed away. Nwang has disappeared. Gone. Still gone. Probably forever gone. They'll never find him. It's over. He was on the Cornice Ridge, which goes down about 3,000 meters one side and 3,500 meters the other side. Gone. Do you think that that company paid any penalties or anything by the government of Nepal for being neglectful? None. So they're not holding people accountable, and that's why I'm talking about Everest Uncovered. How the exploitation of people's own people is absurd. I think that that should shut people down. Kelly, you don't have to, what are you doing? Do you have a question, Kelly? Thank you. I just gave you a thumbs up. So I find that Super Chat is not working. Okay. Is that true? I suppose I could go into settings, but I think I have it preset in my settings that it's automatically enabled. It depends on what country you're in. I'm not sure who said that. Peggy, I don't know. Peggy, I'll answer any question you have. You don't need to go into Super Chat. Try Super Stickers too. They have little guys waving and cool stuff like that. I'll be happy to answer your questions, so let me know. But so it's this Everest Uncovered thing that, let me just put it this way. A lot of people are like, the Sherpa are the most incredible people in the world. They're beautiful, they're perfect, they can do no wrong. They're human beings. There's good ones and there's bad ones. You know, there's amazing ones, there's not amazing ones. There's great personality ones, there's not great personality ones. There's some that don't like working on Mount Everest, some that love working on Mount Everest. They're human beings across the board. Do they do exceptional work on Mount Everest? 100%. Are they physiologically tailored, if you will? Not tailored, but predisposed, because for generation upon generation, hundreds of years, their culture of individuals have been living at higher altitudes. Now, if they moved to Kathmandu and lived there for 2 years and then went to Everest, we know for a fact they don't retain that ability, because it happened, I think it might have been in 2019 when I was there. On the south side, a Sherpa had been living in Kathmandu. Gosh, I had forgotten about this story. And they wanted to hire him to be at Everest, and he hauled ass from Kathmandu to Lukla, trekked all the way up to Everest Base Camp, went up to Camp 1, didn't make it. So he just ascended too fast. So it's not like that adaptability stays with you. It's being at altitude. You know, just like when professional American football teams go to Denver, Colorado to play the Denver Broncos, it's at 7,000 feet or 2,000 meters. Is that about that right? About 2,000 meters in altitude. So not that high, but it really knocks the other teams out, and it's a distinct advantage for the Denver Broncos to play at Mile High Stadium. Kind of cool when you think about that. Anyway, so hey, Beck's mom, $4.99. You are so awesome. Thanks, Beck's mom. I appreciate you. I really do. It means a lot to me. So more on this whole idea, without going too into ad nauseum. The Angela, my friend, talks a lot about the role of a Sherpa, not just a Sherpa with the capital S. That's the people who come from the Khumbu region in Nepal, but the lowercase Sherpa, meaning people who work at altitudes, carrying loads, guiding people on the mountain. What's their role? Like, what are their real responsibilities up there? Should they have the authority to turn a client around? And what if a client becomes unruly? We learned a lot about what happens when somebody is getting sick at altitude. And well, I didn't really talk about it in the Lincoln Hall story, but when Lincoln Hall, and I'm hoping that you guys have watched these videos. For some reason, Lincoln Hall story kind of not performing great. The recent one that I did about Nwang and Kiyui, I mean, 2 years ago, if I had gotten a video that had 7,000 views, I would have been so stoked. But now I'm like, what? 7,000 views? That's not very good. I really kind of want, I want the ability to reach more people. And usually the way that happens is people watch a video, comment, like it, and then YouTube, even if you don't have time to watch it and you're like getting ready for work, keep it playing. And then YouTube says, oh, this is a good video. We're going to keep pushing it out there. Because while this is called Everest Mystery, I think most of you who have watched, especially my live streams, get the point that it's not really a channel per se about Everest. It's about the mystery of life. What are we doing here? Why do I keep talking about the importance of love, of like non-judgment to yourself? Hey, Allie, thank you so much. You are awesome. Oh my God, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. You guys have any questions? You're right at the top of the line there. So 5280 Mile High, thank you. Kilometer High Stadium, they should call it. So the idea of compassion and how important that is, even though the human species in the grand scheme of things, on the planet even, right? Because every several thousand years, every 12,000 years or so on this planet, there's a massive super volcano, and civilizations or populations of animals are wiped out or whatever. And it's been about 12,000 since the last great volcano. But think about like Rome, right? And 2,000 years ago, right, was Rome, and they're gone. And who knows what's going to happen to the human race, though? We could go away, and honestly, if the human race was obliterated from the planet Earth, it would figure things out, right? It might take 1 million years or 2 million years for something to replace it as I hate the word superior, because humans are not superior. We're sentient beings, as is Simba, and cats and cows and fish and chickens. Now I'm getting into my vegetarian thing. Yeah, I'm a vegetarian. I'm not a vegan. Haven't been able to pull the vegan thing off yet. But I can't contribute. It started with me thinking pigs were the coolest animals in the world. I was like, I could never. Oh my God, I just think of a pig and I'm like, what a cool animal. And I was like, we love bacon. Ew, that's disgusting. If you want to do it, just do your thing. I don't care. I'm not judging you, but that's how that whole started. So if people were gone, human beings were gone, It would, whatever, the planet would figure things out. This is just the planet. Then we're in a solar system. We're in a universe. And then we're in the Milky Way. It's so big. We're just this molecule in this grand scheme of things. So why does it matter that we treat someone with kindness and compassion and respect? Because it does. Because ultimately we live in a realm, in this place that we are at, and when we treat ourselves but people with kindness and compassion, we're living out the true purpose for our creation, and that is like this opportunity to expand outwardly and upwardly as well. And so that's why even the person out there who has devoted a great deal of time defaming me, John Krakauer, wink wink, which we're going to talk about in a minute, saying what a liar, a charlatan, all these total lies and fabrications about what happened when George Mallory was discovered on the 1999 expedition, including what happened with me and Andy Politz at the site of George Mallory's remains. Complete nonsense. But do I sit there and go, oh, I hope that guy, gets what he has coming to him? No, I hope he finds peace and harmony and joy. Don't come here to find it. Don't go on my property. Then all the gates of hell will be released. What I'm saying is, it's like I wish for the peace of everybody. I'm not even talking about Mount Everest right now. But hey, mountain climber, good to see you. Mountain climber, I know who you are. Yes, we talked on Patreon. Jeff, right? I think you are, and I really appreciate you very, very much. By the way, so for those of you watching and listening, and I love that there are people, you guys converse, and that is Bob Marley right there. Those are license plates, right? License plates that the person cut into all these different sections and then painted over the license plates. There was a John Lennon one, there was a Marilyn Monroe one, and we were in this coffee shop, one of our favorite coffee shops in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, and it's a vegan coffee shop. Ooh. And you can get these really cool, like fake egg burritos and shit like that. It was so good. Anyway, these were on the wall, and it was right after my birthday, and we were like, nah. She's like, let me get it for your birthday now. And then one day, Saturday, she goes, I'll be right back. And like 4 hours later, she shows up with that. That was cool. So that was one of my birthday gifts. Thank you. I bet she's listening. She's out skiing. It's been snowing like crazy. So hello to my dear love, and 2 chickens. I love 2 chickens. I'm a big chicken guy. I watch chicken videos on TikTok all the time. People who hug their chickens and the chickens live in the house, stuff like that. Yeah, that's my TikTok world. Chickens, people who save cows and pigs and giraffes. Seriously, lions. You ever hear of the lion whisperer, Kevin Richardson? Boy, do I digress. Do you guys know who Kevin Richardson is? He is this guy who raised these lion cubs and kind of was brought into their pride, if you will. And he has, thumbs up to the vegetarians out there. Thank you, Sunset Lights. Cool. Thank you. Anyway, Kevin Richardson now has all lions, hyenas, and some black leopards, panthers, and he's part of all the prides. He keeps them separate, and he'll just go in and hang out with these guys. And I learned about him watching a GoPro video. Gosh, I've got to remind myself about this video. And it was him wearing the GoPros with his lion friends and hyena friends. And it was just the most amazing thing in the world. And so I'm a big fan of Kevin Richardson. Tried to get an interview with him. Met his PR guy, his marketing guy, who lives in Wales, even though Kevin Richardson, Wales the country, even though Kevin Richardson lives in South Africa. And he couldn't get me Kevin, but I got this guy, Cameron Scott, as an interview, who's this amazing naturalist photographer who lives in South Africa, and he also goes to visit in Rwanda. He goes to the mountain gorillas all the time. Holy crap. So yeah, I swear to God it's tea. And so let me tell you about this drawn. Anybody got any questions? I'm just going up. Love the Adrian Ballinger videos. Karen, I do have some great Adrian Ballinger videos, and thank you for bringing that up. It was before, like, my videos were really kind of biting. Like, so I'd do Adrian Ballinger, and the one I did about what does he think happened to Mallory and Irvine got, 12 or 15,000 videos. But I was like, sorry about that. So I'm just blown away that he didn't get more. And one of the cool videos I did with Adrian Ballinger, who has climbed Everest and K2 without the use of bottled oxygen. I think he's summited, it's either 9 or 10 or 11 times. Amazing guy, great friend. And I did an interview with him. Part of it was about what he thinks about guides climbing Mount Everest without the use of bottled oxygen. And it was around the time I had been talking a lot about Anatoly Bukriev not using oxygen, and all these arguments, people going, oh, he was amazing, he didn't need oxygen. I'm like, please, dude, like, it's scientifically proven that the use of bottled oxygen helps you at altitude. Even Bukriev, even him, yes, he was a superhero, he did amazing things on Everest, he was a freak of nature. Oxygen would have changed the game on the day of the disaster. Changed the game. I'm not criticizing him. I did a whole video about Anatoly that talks about culturally how it was kind of burned into him. He Kazakhstan or Russian, the people he climbed with, he just believed like, well, if you get used to oxygen, then you run out of it, you're screwed. And that's kind of true. But you could train with oxygen, without oxygen, and then on summit day, the oxygen bottle that he gave to Neil Beedelman, he should have kept for himself. And consequently, now that we're going off onto a tangent about the 96 disaster, I have no problem with Bukriev. I mean it. I don't hold him accountable. I put the burden of responsibility on Scott Fisher and Rob Hall's shoulders. They were running the show. Everybody's following their lead. And if Fisher was not, it was early. It was 96. It was the nascent years of guiding on Everest. He should have said to Bukriev, if you don't climb, if you climb without bottled oxygen, you're fired. I won't pay you. It's over. You can climb the mountain, but I'm not giving you the money at the end of the expedition. Pay him half up front, paid him $25,000, 96. Pretty good money. Some guides get paid a lot more than that right now, I'll tell you right now, which is good, and they deserve it if you are putting your life into their hands. But he said, if you don't climb with oxygen today, you're fired. Leave the mountain right now. Fisher didn't do that. Fisher was a good guy. A really nice guy. Like I even said in my video about Scott Fisher, I hold him accountable, but I kind of look at him and I think, I can relate with him. I'm probably not supposed to be a people manager running the show. Like, boom. My favorite bosses were the guys who were like really tough and just would tell the truth. Like, hey, what do you think of this edit of this video we're doing for such and such a company? He goes, that sucks, man. Like, you could do so much better. He's like, dude, don't take it personally. I'm just trying to get the best out of you. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm older now. I'm much better at it now. Being truthful, not saying it just to be mean. That's what he should have done. Everybody thinks, why do you criticize? Why do you make Bukriev the villain? I don't. I've never made Bukriev the villain, ever. Neither did John Krakauer. And that's what Krakauer's series of videos are refuting. There are a lot of videos out there, and I bet you know who I'm talking about, that defame him and say that he was a liar and he recreated the story that he tells into thin air to fit a narrative that makes him look good. And it's like, I always knew it was a bunch of crap. I personally think Krakauer is one of the great writers of our time, and one of the reasons, it's not just because he's really smart and a great writer. Nana of 13, thank you so much. Yes, I do. I'm going to get to you in just one second about Ryan Mitchell. We've been chatting a lot lately. So this is why this, to me, is Krakauer's, other than his extreme intelligence and ability to write like words. It's like a poetry, man. It's just like the guy knows how to write. He's unapologetic to speak his truth without fear of what somebody might feel. He's not trying to, as people say, he's portraying Sandy Pittman as a villain. Please, man, like, no, he's not. He's not portraying Beck Weathers as anything. He's telling a story that he saw and experienced, and he's not sugarcoating it because to say, like, oh, I don't want to hurt Sandy Pittman's feelings or something. It's like, no, he just told the story. He told it as he saw it. That's the job of a journalist, and that's an investigative reporter, and he did his job. And when people come on my channel in my comments and like, John Krakauer's a liar, delete. I delete it. Don't frickin' tell me that crap. You can criticize him all you want, but when everybody says he's full of crap, he's this and that, I know where you got these ideas. Not from yourself reading his book, and not even from reading The Climb. Oh shit, I'm going off, man. But I'm telling you, there is a person out there who has a vendetta against the brilliance of Krakauer because he's jealous of like this amazing talent. I never say that human being's name. In fact, it's blocked from this channel. You can't say that name on the channel. You could say it, it won't happen, it won't appear, because I won't even utter the name. Because it's vile. I hope that person finds peace and psychological help, or like, I don't know, gets into therapy, or maybe has a born again experience and finds God, or like something like that. But to live your life by just trying to shit talk people, he's tried to take me down, Andy Polich, Jake Norton, Conrad Anker, Wade Davis, one of the greatest writers of all time, let alone of this era. I know, I'm going off on a freaking tangent. Everest Uncovered. So let me see if I can find that video. Holy crap. I'm going to take a break on this. Nana of 13, do I know that Ryan is training to climb K2? Yes, I do. I didn't watch his video. Apparently it's day 2 of training. Ryan Mitchell, as many of you know, I did a video. It's funny when I go off and I have like start freaking out, the number of viewers goes up. I should like lose my mind more often. I'm gonna smash something. I'm gonna take this mouse of Simba's and like, Simba heard that. I know he did. Anyway, Krakauer didn't lie. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be better. And that's typically what I say. I used to get mad about it, but I was like, I say, do better. Make your own opinion. Read the book and think about when Anatoly's, I'm going to get back to Ryan Mitchell in a second. I'm sorry. When Anatoly's book, The Climb, came out, it's a great book. It's an amazing read. It really is. It's, yikes. It was primarily written by this guy, G. Weston DeWalt. A writer who didn't even know Anatoly, and he bumped into him sometime, I believe it was after the 96 disaster, and said, hey, you know, I'll help you, I'll write the book. And then suddenly the guy carried Anatoly's torch, and a lot of what he wrote was almost, to me, that book, if you really dissect it and do your own research, don't listen to anything anybody says, that book to me was more like propaganda. Like, let's see that we can make this guy look like he made every right decision, he did it right, he saved lives, and he's above the law. When when you read Krakauer's book, he's like, if it wasn't for me, Andy Harris might be alive right now. Like, that's pretty big, dude. Don't you think? That's like, come on. Like, he was a client. What, like, you can't hold anybody responsible for any of the deaths unless you pushed them off the wall. Other than, well, let me put it this way. You could say Scott Fisher was responsible, but he was hypoxic and losing his mind at that time. It literally, you know, and it's horrible. It's so sad. What a beautiful human being he was, and what a cool guy. I would have loved to spend time with him and know him. And then Rob Hall, who ostensibly he had been coming down from the summit, and there's Doug, right? And Doug Hansen, and Hansen was even like, I'm done, let's turn around. And he goes, no, we're going up, man. I'm not letting you turn around. Like, no, let them turn around. They'd both be alive right now. In fact, had Hall possibly turned around at the time with Doug, and had Anatoly been using O2 that day and not been in a rush to get down to make tea, wink, wink, make tea for the clients, please. There's like a whole staff of Sherpa sitting in the tents down there. Anybody can make tea. Had he been using oxygen, he would have been warmer up high, therefore would have been able to linger up high and taken the time to look into Scott Fisher's eyes and seen that he was getting hypoxic, acute mountain sickness, and said, I will fight you to make sure you turn around. I'm not saying he's responsible for Scott, for what happened. It was just an early time. All this stuff happened. I didn't think I was going to talk about that today. So, Ryan Mitchell, he's 20 years old now, I believe. I did an interview with him on this channel about climbing Mount Everest. He was a gamer on YouTube, and I believe he had a Twitch channel, and he made a ton of money. He had 2 million followers playing one of those famous games that there's gamers, and he made money. He was 18, 19 years old, like banking cash, like making a ton of dough, enough to hire Garrett Madison of Garrett Madison Mountaineering to guide him, not Garrett individually, but his company to guide him, and had the idea, and about a year later, there he is, he summits the mountain. Pretty cool story. At first I was like, but you know what? He's a really sweet kid, and I like him a lot, and I don't think of him as a kid. I mean, he's a man, he's a young man, right? But he's training for K2 now. He moved out west from Massachusetts, and I believe in proximity to some pretty cool mountains, right? He's not far from Mount Hood, Mount Rainier, things like that. And so yeah, I'll probably have him back on the channel at some point in time. And additionally, let me keep my eye on the time. Additionally, I'm going to start doing expanded interviews that don't necessarily fit on Everest Mystery on my podcast, The Happiness Quotient. Scroll down and see some really cool old stuff. I've got some good interviews coming up, and want to kind of expand upon some of these things. But what I was saying before, I see Ursula has something coming up right here, a question or a comment. If you're interested in more content, but don't like exclusive content, go to patreon.com/Everest Mystery. And there's stuff in there that isn't on this channel. There's a free level, and then there's an Everest Base Camp level. And then also here, just check the join button. And some people are like, oh, I always miss the live streams. And a lot of times, even if you were just a free member on Patreon, I make a post there, and it will ping your whatever email you use to sign up for Patreon. So anyway. Are you playing the drinking game with my glasses? Every time I put my glasses on or off, you have to do a shot. I hope you are, because if you are, you're slammed by now. Hey, Christopher Ford, good to see you, my friend. Long time. Keep on rocking in the free world. Did you, I don't know if you noticed in my recent video, I had my t-shirt said Detroit versus VS versus everybody. Detroit, Motor City, rock and roll, baby, right? Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, you know, stuff like that. Detroit, great rock and roll city. And somebody from Flint gave me a shout out for that. So I was pretty stoked. Chris, I haven't seen you in a while. It's really good to see you. Peggy, congratulations on 100,000. Thank you. I truly appreciate it. To me, the 100,000 is really cool. It's a milestone, and it's kind of a number, and it's something I've been looking up at now, and it's already back there. And even though numbers don't really mean anything, I'm thinking 250K now, 250,000. Let's just go. Off to a slow start in January. The subscriber numbers kind of went like that. But as some of you know, I've been in communications with a creator named Kyle Hates Hiking. He's a thru hiker. He asked me a ton of questions about the mystery of Mallory and Irvine. And he's got 583,000 subscribers. He's going for 1 million. And he gave me a shout out at the end of his video. And it's got 400,000 views by now. So, and then in the description of the video, it says, hey, I got a big shout out to Everest Mystery. Click to subscribe. Everything just went up like that. So these collaborations might be the way to move things forward in the future. And I think it's cool because you get other perspectives and all that. So Seattle music is better than Detroit. It's very different, right? Right? Okay, we got Nirvana. We've got, you know, like the kind of the Pearl Jam guys. What is it? Soundgarden or no? Soundgarden wasn't really from Seattle, were they? I think the lead singer of Soundgarden, Chris Cornell, wasn't Chris Cornell a Seattle guy? And then he passed away not long ago. By the way, so Ozzy Osbourne, they're going to do the show in July in Birmingham, England, with kind of the original Black Sabbath. Metallica is going to be there. Tom Morello is like the music director. Oh, what a dream concert. I think it's July 5th. Tickets aren't even on sale yet. But I saw Black Sabbath in 1978. The backup band was this little known band called Van Halen. And we rushed to the stage, and we got right up to the gate, like the fence, if you will. And there's Ozzy Osbourne, like right behind the camera. I'm like, oh man, just like, it was such a good show. It was really good show. And that was the last time. Never saw Sabbath again. Never even got to see Randy Rhoads playing with Ozzy, a Diary of a Madman, and things like that. So I love rock and roll music. I live for it. Love the blues. I love kind of classic, like bebop, jazz era stuff. You know, like I was a huge Charlie Parker fan, Dizzy Gillespie, Thelonious Monk, even. Not that that's necessarily bebop, but hey, there you go, Blake. Thank you. Cornell is Seattle affiliated. Techno Detroit. Bay Area is the home of the best. Cool. There's some great music up there, but I can't start rattling them off. Journey. I don't know, right? When the lights go down in the city. Actually, I saw Journey twice in concert. I wasn't even a huge fan, but I loved the backup bands that they were playing for. Back in the day, I was like into like Ted Nugent and this band called Nantucket, and then I saw like Journey backup for Rush or something. We had eighth row seats, and I was such a savage in high school. That's why my ears ring 24/7. Concert after concert after concert. Grateful Dead, big fan of Grateful Dead, but never went on tour, like wasn't into the touring stuff. But I would go on tour if I could right now. Sabbath is king, Matt. Right on. Old Sabbath is king. Bingo. If I could, I would travel around and follow King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, one of the great bands ever right now. Okay, so let me, before I get too far off the topic, I want to show you what my friend John Krakauer is doing. He learned, let me see if I can bring this up. He learned last August that there was a, oh God, I don't want to see that guy. There was a series of videos that, I'm going to stop it. There was a series of videos essentially assailing John Krakauer and his book Into Thin Air, saying that he created lies, a series of lies, in order to make himself look good. Hey, Hines, you saw Sabbath and Van Halen, so same tour. I saw him in, it was September, I think 28th, at New Haven Coliseum, New Haven, Connecticut. Anyway, so Krakauer finds out that there were a gazillion videos, just all of them trash talking him. He's a liar. He just fabricated. He tried to make a villain out of, you know, this Journey, baby. Go for it. Keep saying your favorite bands. My heart is singing. Santana, Grateful Dead, Journey. Seen them all. Seen them all. Grateful Dead many times, like that, right? And so just starting yesterday, John posted on his Instagram page, let me see if I can find the Instagram page. Krakauer. I know you're watching me go through all these videos right now. He did this post, and he said, in August 2024, I learned from comments in my Instagram feed that a YouTuber named, and I will not mention it, what's his name, had been aggressively maligning my book Into Thin Air on his YouTube channel, which has more than 130,000 subscribers. And I'm gonna, by the way, I'm gonna do a quick aside on this. So, this person that Krakauer's talking about has done numerous videos directly about me, to assail me, to defame my character, to malign my character, many of the guys in the 1999 expedition, and create a whole shit ton of lies that never took place. Just absolute madness. And I was really angry at first. But there was like, what are you going to do, you know? But there was one video I did, and I can't remember, I don't even remember what video. It might have been the Jamie McGinnis interview. Before Sandy Irvine's partial remains were found on Mount Everest, I did an interview with Jamie McGinnis to say that the research we did in 2019 and information he had found leading up to 2019, to us at least, and I had Jamie kind of stand by it. I was kind of like, I'm not going to be completely bought into this, but to say the Chinese, not only did they find Sandy Irvine, but they either removed him, as Mark Sinnott said, or the word they used was thrown. His body was thrown off the mountain. Don't go off on this whole Chinese conspiracy thing. Like, people have been surrendered to the mountain for many, many years, pushed, you know, like to go down the mountain instead of, you know, going through all the, what are you going to do with a frozen body at base camp? I actually could probably think you might want to bring it home to the family. However, when I did that video, this person did a 3-part series on my video, on that video, and apparently it was going to be a one-off video, and so many people subscribed to the channel that he decided to do 3. So we're talking about like this desire to gain notoriety and fame by creating hate and antipathy. Do we need look any further than the United States and what's happening in politics right now to see how far somebody can rise up in the world of politics by spewing hate and lies and misinformation? Sorry, I'm just going to leave it at that, because honestly, I sleep well at night and I think our world is going to be just freaking fine. But some people really get off on that, and it's weird. And it's troubling. And I think that this guy doing these videos, I just decided to leave well enough alone. I blocked him from my channel. He was a member of the channel for a while, so he could see my exclusive content just in case I was saying anything. I don't even mention his name, and when people talk about him, I don't care. Hopefully the guy does well in life and finds joy and happiness and stuff like that. But just not on the backs of people like Krakauer. Anyway, Krakauer is a different bird, man. Like, so Krakauer decided to write 8 chapters in response to all the lies and misinformation. And each of those chapters is going to be a video. Number 2 was released today. YouTuber on a mission to trash my book. Chapter 2, said person's overarching lie. Video 1 was the YouTuber on a mission to trash my book. Chapter 1, traffic jams on Mount Everest. And he goes completely into detail why him getting shot down, supposedly lying about Sandy Pittman getting short roped. Like, it doesn't matter if she got short roped for 1 second or 10 hours. The fact is that Lopsang, bless his heart, rest his soul, was with her and was supposed to fix the ropes, and it did create a traffic jam. And in this video, he goes into the minutia of exactly why that dude is dead ass wrong and is in fact the liar, and Krakauer points it out. So when somebody comes to me on my channel and says, oh, John Krakauer was a liar, he said this and there was no traffic jam and blah blah blah, it's like, dude, I don't care what you think, but I think I know where you got your misinformation, M-I-S information. So I will put the links to that channel. I strongly urge you to follow. It's great because here's Krakauer, one of the most brilliant orators, or writers, I should say, in the world, and you don't really see his face. And it was really interesting because I know him. And I didn't think of his voice like that because I've always heard his voice, seeing his face. But I'll leave it at that. I harbor no ill will toward anyone, and I think everybody's just on their, everybody's trying to find their way, man. Life is hard. It can be hard. And, you know, we all know, God only knows how hard life is anyway, with, you know, people that we love dying, or losing things that are dear to us, or a pet passing away or something like that. Just that. And then life is even further complicated by us trying to manipulate based on our push-pull attraction, you know, to things, our needs, our desires, our wants. And we further complicate that by judging others. And the minute we begin to judge not only ourselves, but others, we short-circuit our ability to truly love unconditionally. And I had to work with that one, because here's this guy trying to, you know, like flick me off of my little soapbox. And I was pissed for a while, you know, but not really. But now I'm like, you know, hey man, everybody, just as long as you don't show up here, that's a whole different deal. But you know, I'm a man, I can take it. And hell, can you imagine, I'm this little tiny molecule. Can you imagine being like Taylor Swift, or, well, in this case, John Krakauer? Can you imagine, like, for the billion people who adore her, there's got to be a lot of people who hate her or pursue her or want to knock her off her, you know, her successes. You know, she tips her workers well. So Taylor's kind of on my team. I hate her boyfriend's football team. Absolutely. I don't hate them, but I want them to lose on Sunday. I'm sorry, stating it right here. Big Jalen Hurts fan. Go Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm a Patriots fan. So think about how far I had to go to say that. Big Patriots fan. American football. My apologies to all the people who follow rugby and soccer, European football. Boy, man, oh boy. Did I get to everything, Kelly? Did I nail it? Is there anything I missed? I don't want to go too long into this. So I'm working on a really cool video. Let me just show you. This is way down the road. A book called Forever on the Mountain by James Tabor or Tabor. It's about 1967 disaster on Mount McKinley. I believe seven people not only died in a 10-day storm, disappeared, gone. 1967. Very few people know about this story, and I'm that far in, not very far, whoops, and I'm going to do a story on that. That is going to take a long time. I've been reading it in bed, and I'm like gone, half a page in. Another cool book that I picked up. I've had it, and I couldn't find it in storage. The Crystal Horizon, Everest Solo, the first solo oxygenless ascent by Reinhold Messner. Somewhere in there, Ursula. Somebody mentioned Wanda Rutkowitz. Amazing female, obviously Wanda. Great alpinist. We lost her. The first woman, I believe the first woman to climb K2. Yeah, and then followed like 15 minutes later by Liliane Berard. This is in 1986. And then Liliane Berard and her husband, they disappeared on the way down from the summit, there's so many amazing freaking stories. Holy crap. And I can't get to them. So for me to build some independence on this channel, to actually be able to make a living on it and not kind of worry, like, because the beginning of the month it comes up and I'm like, oh my God, how are we gonna, cover this bill and that bill and stuff like that. I'm not crying poor. What I'm saying is that if I had 250,000 subscribers and the people actually watch the video, 100,000 subscribers, I do this amazing video last week, 7,000 views. Like, hello, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to watch it with you. It's going to take me a while. There's 129 people watching right now, texting like savages, which I love. So I've got a lot going on. Now it's Fridays in February. I will be doing 3 more this month. Yep, that's right. Next Friday and the successive Fridays. I'm not exactly sure what the topic is. It seems like we're on to something. You're welcome to message me on the free Patreon, patreon.com/Everest Mystery, or you can find my email address. That's cool and all. Or you can make a comment in a video. When you comment in a video, it tells YouTube that you're engaging with the content and that you like it. So thumbs up, things like that. Watching a video through, commenting. Even if you turned the sound down and you're making dinner, or turn it up and don't even watch it, it helps me so much. You have no idea. Yes, you have an idea. You're smart. You know what you're doing. It does help me. I want to keep doing this. So I'm also going to say I'm writing a book. I think you know that. Thanks to the help of Ursula, who helped me with that, which I appreciate. No, hold on. Ursula, I'm sorry. No, it's my friend here from... she is not here. I got introduced to a publisher in London, and they wrote up a contract, and they asked me to write a book for them. And I have about not quite a year to finish 90 to 120,000 word manuscript. I'll have 30 plus pictures and illustrations and maps in it. And so my book's that far away, but my goal is when the book is in just about to be published, I'd like to pre-sell, a ton of them, because it's, as you know, you just sat through this live. I don't talk about Mount Everest all the time. Mount Everest is a huge part of my life. My life is about pursuing the mystery, finding out what we learn from human interaction, from being kind when someone's being unkind to us, from wishing a person well, even when they want us to burn in hell. Like that, you find things out that way. And when things get really bad, when there's a crisis or a meltdown, or you lose someone you love, you very often learn the most. That's the time to listen. And so my friend Oliver Wood from the Wood Brothers, you know, all of my wisdom, none of my wisdom came on any of my happiest days. I never learned a thing being happy, right? So that you do. I mean, it's a song, so don't take it too far. But anyway, so Lindsay, I will make sure Lindsay has a message. Staying single, just friendship to offer. Thank you. Yeah, right. That was my modus operandi until my wife walked into my life, and I'm like, okay, I guess maybe I'll get married because I love her so much. Jessica, thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Oh, cool. On your AirPods, it helps me learn while getting stuff done. I'm leaving up all these live streams. They're fun, and I appreciate you. And I'm doing everything I can to keep the live chat replay up. Kestrel, good name for a book. Kestrel, people, we've got we could have like a funny story video hour next week or something. Cole, you make maps for a living. If I need a cartographer, message me. 100%, I mean that. You know, my mentor was Bradford Washburn. He took me under his wing for the last 15 years of his life. He passed away at the age of 96. As you know, if you may or may not know, he mapped Mount Everest, Denali, the Grand Canyon in the United States. Boom. Brad, yeah, very cool. Absolutely. Hit me up. Okay, Matt, you'll buy a copy as long as you don't have to get it from Amazon. Boom. Wink. I catch your drift. Don't worry. There'll be other ways to buy it. It will probably make it to Amazon. I'm not sure if I actually have control about that. But please let me know what might work for us to talk about next week. If you just want to have a live open Q&A, you want to talk about Sandy Irvine, George Mallory, these John Krakauer videos, I'll put the link to his YouTube page in there. I think right now he has only, this is amazing. Here's John Krakauer, one of the greatest writers in the world. Brand new YouTube page, 500 subscribers, or 600, 574. I would imagine that will go up, but I don't think he cares. Honestly, I don't think he gives a crap. He just wants to put it out there and dispute and refute all the lies that have been said about him. Give him a chance. Don't let a hating person seeking fame and subscribers sway. This is what you do. You go into your heart and you ask your heart to help you discern the truth. You go deep into your heart and you let it come from here, our biggest muscle, our biggest emotion center. That's where we need to go to discern truth. If somebody's saying something and you're not sure if it's true or false, even if they're like, trust me, man, trust me, and it's going against, go here and let your heart be your guide. And that's it. Don't regret that. You can never go wrong there. Thank you, Mountain Climber. Mountain Climber, I appreciate you. You are the man. Great name for a username, Mountain Climber. We know what you love to do. And so, guys, I think that's it. Let me find my page here. I hope you enjoyed that I'm doing this this new app where I can put videos up. I could actually play the audio. I'm going to try to get a guest next week. That's what I'm going to do. So let me do a guest next week, and I'll find a way, even if I have to roll it in, you know, pre-recorded guest. That could be fun. So my friends, thank you. Karen, thank you. I saw that, and hopefully you're not talking about me. Love you guys so much. Be well. Do a good thing, you know, take care of yourself. Be kind to people. If you go to the supermarket, be gentle and kind to the people working hard who probably would rather be out playing in the snow or walking along the beach. Say something nice to someone. And if there's a sweet little old man or little old lady alone walking into the supermarket, they might really be alone in their life. They might not have a lot of people talk to them. Say hello, and they'll be like, "Whoa, do that. It feels really good, and it makes people feel better." I love doing stuff like that. Because look at me. Nobody ever says hello to me. Look at how old I am. I'm an old man. I'm really old. I've got about 40 more years to go. That's what I'm going for. I'm going to be really freaking old in 40 years. But since my youngest son was born when I was 40, you know, I want him to be like my age when I kick the bucket, right? So, and then he'll be ready. Then he'll be like, all right, get out of here. I'm sick of you anyway. And then I'll at least have maybe money to give him. Right now I got nothing. Just, like this table, Bob Marley, this little Buddha guy, my grandfather's skis. You see the skis there? Those are my grandfather's cross-country skis. Are about 30 feet long. And I can remember him using those when I was a kid. I'm leaving. I love you all. Thank you so much. Kelly, thanks for moderating. It means so much to me. I will see you next week, same time, same place. Reach out to me if you have any questions or want topics covered, and I'll do my best to get to them. Signing off now, my friends. Peace be with you.